Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. We're here in Brookshire County on our highway into Salt Lake City, and in this video we're going to focus on expanding Salt Lake City so that it can grow to its full potential, and we'll also be extending this highway to some other areas of Salt Lake City that we'll intend on growing later on. Alright, so if we take a look here at Salt Lake City and its population, we can see its target population is all the way up to 6,000, and we can only have about 3,500 people here, or at least that's what we have at the moment. So I think Salt Lake City needs a lot more room to grow. So we're going to fill out this whole area out to the river. We'll fill out this. I think we might even expand out here and sort of cap off this end, and then if we have time left over, we'll expand more this way. And then as for our highway, I think how we're going to do it is we're going to come across this main road here, and then we'll follow the river, come up on this side of the tracks, pretty much follow along this way, and then over here there'll be another connection into Salt Lake City. And so I think that leaves us off at a good starting point. If we get Salt Lake City done quick enough, we might look at some other areas to expand, but our main focus is going to be Salt Lake City, expanding it as far as it needs to in order to be able to grow much more. I think we'll also take a look at our bus networks, make sure everything's covered there, as well as our goods if we feel like we need to. Alright, and so I think we'll start over here. We'll get our highway connection to the main road looking good, and then we will go from there. Alright, now let's have a little quick checkup on what we have so far. So you can see here our new way into Salt Lake City. This was a little tricky because I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of space making a huge interchange here connecting to this main road. So we just have sort of these small, quick on and off ramps that merge into a 2-lane road. And this side I really like. I like how it is sort of tucked away and it's not really intruding on the rest of the city. So that comes in here, and then this helps define this edge as we come out to the water this way. And then over here we have this just coming off and coming down and connecting here. And then what I think would be cool in this area around the highway is maybe having like a large shopping center here, and then all the way out here on this side maybe having some restaurants or some higher end commercial buildings near this end of the water, so you can sort of look out into the river and the bay out here. So those would all be custom things that we would do later on, but I think it would really fit this place nicely. I don't think having a bunch of small residential buildings in this area around the highway would make sense. So I think doing some larger sort of custom builds near these interchanges would really help blend it in with the rest of the city. And then let's follow down our highway first. So this comes down. It doesn't come all the way to the ground because I didn't think that really looked that great, and I couldn't really think of a way that we would separate the highway from these small residential roads. But moving along, it comes under these train tracks and then lifts up, and I hope that this bridge is good enough. If not, we might have to raise up earlier over here. But what I'm thinking is we have 1 or 2 roads that can come under this bridge and help the city expand out this way. And then maybe even there's an opportunity where we can have a road come through here, although we'd have to figure out what we want to do with all this train work. Maybe it's a bridge that comes across, and that might actually be quite nice just for a little extra connectivity. But then, yeah, the city could expand out this way. Moving along with our highway, I think out here is where it will end up connecting, which we will do some more expanding this way. And then we're not going to go too crazy, but we will think about how we want to bring it out into these hills. And then moving on to the rest of the expansion, we just extended our grid this way a little bit more. And then we thought about how this road can sort of loop around and become a main road for this little island. And then I think that this island could actually be a really good place to have a lot of boats and fishing stuff going on. I think it fits quite nicely, especially since this area is nice and tucked away. So the water would probably be a lot more calm on this end. And then this side would be like larger stuff, but this still looks out towards the water. So there's a whole lot that we can do here in terms of detailing and such. So I'm excited to see how this area comes out. But anyway, with that, I think let's extend our roads this way, and then we'll extend this way a little bit, and then hopefully that should be it for Salt Lake City. Alright, and so I think this is going to be the extent of how we grow Salt Lake City. As you can see up here, we just extended this road a bit farther. It doesn't really do much at the moment, but it does set up the framework for when we do want to expand out into this area. I think it came out quite nicely. I think this bridge actually isn't too terrible for what it is. I think it comes over these tracks nicely. It comes over the highway just fine. And we didn't have to do too much moving around of heights and anything like that. We were just able to extend this road straight out and then come down the hill. And then down here at this bridge, I just think this side was too low to bring this road through. But I think given how low density this area is going to end up being, I think one road is fine, especially since we have the other connection farther up this way. So I think as long as we have two ways out of this area, we don't have to worry about it too much. Alright, so now I think our next step is to extend our bus lines so that they cover all of this. So we'll probably add another bus line on this road here, and it could actually be a line that comes all the way around and then maybe drops off here, and then it's just one giant U that sort of straddles the city. I don't think that's a terribly bad idea. So yeah, let's go with that. Let's place our bus stops down. And so we'll try to keep this in line with everything else we have placed already. So it'll go here, go down another 2 blocks. It'll stop here. Another stop right at the main road. Another stop here. And at this point, it's sort of on our own, so we'll go here. I think we can afford to just have one stop on this entire area. So let's go one here, and then we'll have another one in this area because this will eventually build out. And then from here we can go probably one here, and then one all the way back up to this bus stop here, just so that there's sort of a transfer of people there if they wanted to take different lines. And so let's buy ourselves some new buses, and I think these will do fine. We'll get just 10 of them because I don't think this line's going to get heavily used for quite a while. But then we will set this up properly, and then we can move on to our next line. And then I think at this point it makes sense to have a bus going across this way. So we'll get some more stops set up. So here will be one. We can get one here. The next one will be over this way. And then the last one, or I guess the last two, one here, and then one here. Alright, and that should be it for our new bus lines. And then as for our existing ones, I think this line will want to extend one stop farther out this way. So I think we'll actually get a stop right here on this short little road. So we'll do that, and then we'll have to manage the line. So after coming to this stop, it'll come here, and then go back onto this one. And that looks like that route's just fine. And then later on, once this area gets filled out more, I suppose we could extend our Main Street bus line up, and that will connect here as well. But I don't think we need to do that just yet. And I don't think we need to really do that anywhere else. I think now Salt Lake City is pretty well covered for all of its bus stops. Let's just make sure that we are moving enough. It looks like this stop is a little overloaded. And so we'll just upgrade the vehicles. We won't do anything I guess there's not really much of an upgrade to do. I mean, this is really the best upgrade we have, but it takes us down by 1 capacity. However, it does have a much faster loading speed, so maybe there's something there. I don't know, we'll try it out. And we'll get 2 more vehicles on it anyway, since we did extend the line a bit. So we'll see how that goes. This station, although it's pretty full, looks like it's doing just fine. And then we have this line here, which looks like it might need some extra buses. We can see here we have a bunch of people waiting at this stop. This stop is pretty full. This one's getting there. So I don't think we're going to upgrade these, but we will duplicate and get 4 more buses on this line. And then taking a look at our tram line here, let's see if there's any better trams that we've unlocked recently. So I believe before looks like we're running these, and we definitely have quite a few more unlocked. Now really it's just a question of, are any of these really better? Alright, and so I don't really see a direct upgrade that we could use. However, something we could do is opt for one of these smaller trams. Yeah, what we could do is opt for some smaller trams. They'll take up less space on the road, and hopefully they'll accelerate quicker. So we can go with something like this, where if we compare these directly, it has the same loading speed, it has 3 less capacity, but if we use these instead, we'd probably be able to fit 4 or 5 more on the line, as opposed to these longer ones. And another thing to take a look at is the running cost. So the running cost per car is lower on this one, and I think that might just be worth it to justify it. We could do the same thing with this tram too. So yeah, we'll go with these ones. We'll replace all of those, and we'll try to get 2 more. Let's maybe get 1 more. So we don't want to overload our tram routes, or else that's just going to clog up everything else. Alright, so after all those upgrades, let's let things sit for a little bit, and let's see what our destinations layer is looking like. So we can see there is a lot of people using our highway. Looks like it's largely to get between Houston and Salt Lake City. So that is taking a little bit of competition away from our train line, but really I don't think it's that much of an issue, especially when I believe this is still a very high number, so there's not much we can really do there. And then checking up on this construction materials plant, it does seem like there's a lot of traffic here, but nothing seems to be stuck necessarily, so I think this might all be running okay. We can see these are still pumping out construction materials, so I think we can leave that. Alright, and then quickly to sort of end off the video here, we're going to take a look at Lincoln. We're not going to do everything in Lincoln. I think we're just going to maybe fill out this area and clean up the streets, because up here is just a lot of open space I'm not sure how we want to deal with just yet. But I do want to take care of some of our other cities as well. So let's quickly take a look at Lincoln here, and then when we come back, that'll pretty much be it. We'll take a closer look at everything and end off the video there. Alright, and so I think this is how we're going to leave Lincoln. I think this looks nice. It'll fill out nicely. And again, I think this is going to be our next priority, is figuring out what to do up here. But for now, let's take a closer look at what we've done in this video. And then when we come back, we will talk about some future projects and next steps. Alright, and now that we're back, taking a look at Salt Lake City, I do want to add some of those details that we talked about. So that might actually be what we do next. We will build some sort of shopping centers here in this area, get a nice restaurant thing here, and then detail this island. I think that'll really help. We'll add some magnets to help draw people in. It'll sort of be like a tourist type thing. And so that's something I'm really excited to get on, getting on more of the detailing end of things now that the city has space. And then taking a look at Houston, I think we can start to fill out this area. I know initially we thought about putting the airport here, but I think what we're going to end up doing is putting the airport in this area. We'll build out some of the land and we'll have the airport sort of sitting here. I think that wouldn't be too bad to try to set up. So that's currently the plan for a larger airport when we get there. And speaking of airports, let's just see how this one's doing. It's been a little bit. It doesn't look like it's getting much better, but again, that's just something that will slowly change with time. It does look like we need to start taking a closer look at some bus routes in our cities, as Houston is getting overloaded at almost every stop. So that's something we'll have to start looking for. But again, that'll just come with time as we unlock larger buses. Hopefully we'll be able to handle this demand more. And then we have this highway coming next to Houston that I do want to start to expand. Maybe not extend it all the way up to Tacoma just yet, but maybe expand it up so we can see what it looks like on the upper end of Houston. So that maybe we can define an edge there. I don't know if we're going to cross over or if we're going to like go up here and then cut across way up by the mountains, but that's something that we'll want to figure out at some point. Checking in on Tacoma though, since it's been a while, it has filled out most of what we built fairly recently, so it will probably be due for another new set of roads sometime soon. As we can see here, it is at its target population, and there's plenty of resources it still needs. So maybe we can start to think about how we would get a cargo hub connection here. And then lastly, we have Lincoln here, which we did talk about. This is going to be one of our larger focuses. So maybe the next video will be fixing this up and then detailing Salt Lake City. That might be the direction I'm feeling like going at the moment. So we'll stick with that for now. And then taking a look here at Allentown. Allentown has filled out the area that we built out for it, and it is also slowly reaching its target population. It looks like it started to plateau again, but it was just fairly recently that we built that, so maybe that chart's not fully reflective of it. Alright, and so with that, I think that's going to be all for this video. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.